WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Baseball's on break, Dan. We don't care. We got a ton to go over this week.
Oh, absolutely. We are absolutely loaded up this week here for you. Don't worry. We're going to find you winners. Home Run Derby goes today, too, so we'll at least touch upon that. But we got Gianni the Greek coming on here today. We got Bill Crackman, and we got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Carmine Bianco. And how does he get the headline? Well, what he's been doing in the World Cup. That's why he gets the man, the myth, the legend moniker. But also, Andy, what we have done on this show, 30 seconds in, we just ask you to hit that like button. We ask you to subscribe. We give away a play. We call it the WagerTalk Today Play of the Day. And sometimes folks in the comments say, oh, another loser, another this. We tell you bet all of them. Well, guess what? If you bet all of them, 38-24, we start the week, Andy, and we're going to the Association of the Women's Variety for today's play of the day. What are we looking to play on, brother?
Well, Marco and I talked about this last week, just about how bad the Sparks defense is, and they just continue to give up a lot of points. But give them credit, they continue to score a lot of points as well. So we'll take the over on the Sparks and the Dream tonight, over 180.5, fair price here. The Sparks, no matter what, if you look at full season, 5 games, 10 games, it doesn't matter. They're worst or second worst in defensive rating. So we know they're going to give up points. And the Dream, they may be without Angel Reese tonight. That's a big defensive presence. And even if she plays, she's playing a little bit hurt. And last game, she did not play. It was her first missed game of the season. The final score against the Fire, they lost 102-92. So without Angel Reese in the lineup, that big defensive and rebounding presence inside the lane's pretty open here. Last 2 games for the Sparks, the totals are 189 and 198. Almost getting to 200 points in a WNBA game is insanity. So I expect a lot of points here, so we'll take the over 180.5. I don't expect this to be as easy as Holloway over McGregor on Friday's play of the day, but I like our chances here in this one.
Yeah, that I saw your tweet and I couldn't have agreed more. You just say generational wealth on Max Holloway. So that one was about as easy bets come. It was never a sweat. We were talking with Gianni right before we came on, and we said you had to be worried for all about 0.8 seconds if you were a Holloway backer. But for today, we're going over that 180 in the WNBA Sparks and Dream. Let us know what your best bet is, but that is our play of the day.
All right, let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, thoughts on we'll touch on, we won't beat a dead horse, but I've never seen an easier MMA win.
That's great.
It looked easier than I thought it was going to be. So what was your thoughts on the card?
Yeah, I ended up doing well because of that last fight on McGregor. I lost my 5% on Krylov, but I had to place that bet again based on the closing line value we were able to get. And it turned out well overall. Like I had Tongue big. I had Holloway big. I had Batista. Like it ended up being a good night. I think overall I lost a couple units on that card, but personally I was able to make money because I just overbet Max Holloway. I just kept betting him. Anytime that the price dropped, I bet him. And the reason, and it shouldn't have been a reason, but it gave me more confidence that I was reading it correctly. When I swear on everything, I received 2 texts, one from a cousin of mine that I haven't spoken to since probably the Super Bowl when he asked me who I like, and another kid I grew up with that I swear to you probably haven't spoken to in like 2 years. And they both asked me about whether they should bet McGregor. So these are guys that aren't betting MMA every week. They know I work with the UFC. They know I make money betting sports. They never ask for my opinion, except maybe on a Super Bowl, something like that. And that day, 2 different guys that don't bet wanted to know if they should bet money on McGregor because they're getting 2-1 on their money. And is it a gift? And I told them, run. Put that on the other side or run away. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but you're placing a bad bet. You are now FOMOing in. You're doing exactly what people did with Bitcoin when it was at its all-time high, exactly what they did with these AI stocks when they're at all-time high. And then they wake up a month later and they're like, wait, my capital's declined by 50%. What did I do wrong? I'm in these great companies. Yeah, but you bet them at the wrong time. McGregor was a great fighter. You had a lot of opportunity to make money with McGregor, not over his last 5 or 6 fights. Like, you should have been looking for spots to fade him, not bet him. And yeah, it turned out well for those that wanted to see that fairy tale ending. Unfortunately, we live in the real world where that just doesn't happen more times than not. And yeah, they all made money. Holloway made money. McGregor made money. And I'll tell you this, it's going to take him about a year to recover at least. And as pissed off and irritated as people may be, if he says he's coming back for that final fight of the contract, we're going to watch him. That's just the bottom line. I know people are like, it's the last time. It's the last time. It is not the last time. If he decides to return, we will end up watching him again. That's just how fickle fans and especially sports fans are. So yeah, great night overall. Could have been better had I done some damage for, the guys that followed my card. But we didn't get hurt, just lost one more bet than we should have won. And the dogs ended up costing me, those small dogs that I got to bet that I know probably going to lose. Plus 300s usually don't get there, but long term they've been profitable for me. So I got to do what's right. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the card. Great card overall. Nice night of MMA, and hopefully you guys made some money.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a great card. We had our best card in a long time. So pretty happy that we're finally seeing UFC. Well, it was rough to start the year, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. What are we seeing today? I'm always curious. I'm always curious what happens when we have these downtimes. Listen, we have a cricket play that goes off this afternoon. There's WNBA. There's a lot of tennis. There's stuff to play today. But it's just a weird me. So Gianni, what are you seeing?
Yeah, if you could always find things to bet on, it's do you have the confidence to bet them, and should you be betting them? Do you really have an edge, or are you looking for action? Like my quant sends me my power ratings all the time, updated power ratings. And as you touched on, there's a bunch of tennis today. And I almost peaked. And then I said, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go looking for stuff, because you're always going to find it. You know what I mean? Don't go looking. When it jumps out at the page off you, when it's those bigger tournaments and he sends you the information like we did with Wimbledon, then it's a different story. So I kind of slowed myself down, but I did have leans myself on WNBA, and they ended up, I pop and they bet what I liked. So I ended up releasing 2 bets in WNBA. That package is available. It's only $25. It's both games. We ended up putting in action. But otherwise, again, most of the guys I work with, they use a day like today to do their accounting and kind of take the day off. Take a few days off. Most take a vacation during this time. This is usually when I would take a vacation, but I just have so much going on, I can't. It is a good time to take a break, reflect, go over your year to date. You know what I mean? Admit those mistakes you made, and you still have half the year more or less ahead to right the ship. It's a good time also for Major League Baseball to shore up those power ratings as we head into the second half. These teams did exactly what we thought they were going to do. There's only one team that's above 60%. Well, 2 teams, if you count Milwaukee at 61.5 and the Dodgers at 62.9. No other team is above that 60% mark. We talked about it at the beginning of the year. I have futures on Tampa Bay. I gave 1 future, an American League future and a National League future. My futures are on Tampa Bay in the AL, and we have Milwaukee in the NL. We are sitting good with both. Now, I don't have Tampa Bay as the best team in the American League. In fact, I have the New York Yankees as the best team in the American League and the 3rd best team in all of baseball. But based on our projection on wins, we had Tampa Bay winning more games than the Yankees. We have Tampa Bay winning 93.5 games, and we have the Yankees only winning 89.5 games. So seeing that cushion with Tampa, I was like, wait, Tampa's probably going to get home field or, throughout the AL playoffs. I got to put a future on them. So that's why I locked in Tampa. In the NL, I took Milwaukee because I thought they were undervalued because of just how strong the Dodgers are. Yes, the Dodgers are my number 1 power rated team in all Major League Baseball. They got the number 1 offense, number 2 defense. But I have the Milwaukee Brewers, who are the 2nd best team in all of baseball. They have the third best offense, the number one defense. And even though it's, 7-game series and the cream rises to the top, I think the Brewers could give the Dodgers a run for their money. So long-term, high on the Brewers, high on Tampa Bay. With that said, I do expect Tampa Bay to regress a little bit. They have won more games than they should. We have them finishing the year, like I said, winning 93.5 games. That's about 57%. I think today, as of today, they've won 59, close to 60%. So yeah, we expect even a little regression from Tampa. Got the updated power ratings for Major League Baseball. Real quickly, I will be doing videos at the end of this week where I'll release the college football power ratings, top 10, I believe, and NFL power ratings as well. And a couple other things to get you ready for the NFL and college football seasons. World Cup starts tomorrow. You guys already know I have huge futures pending on Spain and Argentina. Haven't decided what I am going to do with them. Haven't seen any sharp money on the sides yet, Andy. I have seen it on the totals. Not surprisingly, they got out ahead of the market on the over in Argentina and England, and they did bet the under a little bit in Spain and France. Nothing huge, but we did see a little bit of under money and then flip and started seeing over money. And it's interesting because it's kind of what you expect in a semifinal or final, where you do have a difference of opinion between sharp bettors. You see that, in MMA every weekend where, sports books will tell you they have wise guys on this side, wise guys on that side. It happens in Super Bowl a lot. And not surprisingly, you'll see that in the finals, semifinals of the World Cup, where you just have difference of opinion based on power ratings. Like I have Spain number 1, I have France number 2, I have Argentina number 3, and I have England number 4 of what's remaining. Others have France on top, maybe England second. So it's all in how your power ratings reflect. And for myself, since it started, I had Spain at the top. I'm not changing that opinion. Nothing I've seen makes me change that opinion. We've increased France's power rating throughout this tournament, and Spain is still the best team on paper. Their gap is still almost as big, believe it or not, as it was before the tournament started. And I know France has looked better, but my guy says that's not the case, and I have confidence in what he's done so far.
All right. Have you played any win totals for the second half of MLB? Like any season win totals, or are you still going through those numbers?
No, I haven't. And I did last year and the year before. I did fire a couple. I'll tell you the truth. The last few seasons, season win totals just haven't done as well as they did in years past. So I wasn't as excited to lock up money for that long. Like I didn't think the edge was high enough where I wanted to lock up that much of my bankroll. So I didn't do it. And with football ahead, I think I have more EV on season win totals in college football and NFL based on what's coming up. So I'm saving that capital. I only have so much money. So for that, I think it's more advantageous for me to lock up, because I'm probably going to lock up, 10, 15% of my entire bankroll on NFL and college football total season win totals and future bets, because it is just such a profitable market. Like now, so many recreational bettors bet those, where before that didn't really happen. It was mostly sharp bettors, betting against each other, zero-sum game. But now you have recreational bettors that are betting these, like receiver with the most yards or quarterback with the most passing yards. Like they're betting those kind of individual props. And because of that, the market offers a ton of value. Again, I can't send out 300 props to subscribers. So I'll probably be putting them in the Steam sheet throughout the next couple weeks, because rest assured, they're starting to move. Like college football and NFL, you'll start seeing over the next 6 weeks, a lot of those season props really moving. This is when you'll start seeing the sharps and betting syndicates getting involved, because limits are opening up. Like they put numbers out a month ago, 2 months ago. Bro, the limits are this big. Like, it's just for talking points. It's good for debate and, sports radio, but no real betting syndicates are tipping their hands until the markets open up, and they're opening up right now. So rest assured, start paying attention to those football numbers. They're starting to matter.
Yeah, we actually, Dan and I are starting today. We're going to break down a season player prop every day from now until this season. So might as well start doing the research now.
Yep.
That way, when the limits go up, you're ready to fire. So, what do you have up for everyone, Gianni? A couple WNBA plays.
Yep, I have my 2-pack that's up. Both games, one side, one total in WNBA. That's about it. Didn't put a steam sheet up. There's not much to share. Tomorrow we will with the World Cup. I have a real strong lean on the total. Those have done the best. If I would have just stuck the totals, we're 25-9 in World Cup total, 74%. And I'm hoping to get the confirmation and fire. I haven't fired a 5% throughout this entire World Cup. I kind of want to hold back because people bet more than they should. Like, you hit a 4%, but you lose the 5 and someone gets buried. I don't want that to happen. But if it warrants it, I have to fire. So we'll see. That should be up probably by the evening if I'm able to confirm. Otherwise, move on to tomorrow's action, and we'll see whether we hedge or not. Best of luck to everyone. Cheer in Spain, cheer in Argentina, and I'll see you at the end of the week.
I'll be cheering on Spain and Argentina for you, Gianni.
Thank you, brother.
Sure. So, thanks, Gianni. Have a good day. Gianni the Greek, everyone. cheer on Spain, and you can just hear it in his voice. He's like, "Come on, Spain."
Yeah.
So.
I maybe can cheer on one side of the ledger for him. It's hard for me to cheer on Argentina, Argent FIFA. But we'll talk to Carm about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting week and weekend for us. Wimbledon was very good to us, 7-2. So real happy with that. Swept UFC. That was good and gave some back. We lost on Toyota to win. We debated whether or not to put it in. It's a different type of oval, but we've been playing Toyota to win at all the ovals. It's just a play we're going to play at every oval. And of course, they had 3 of the top 5, and the one of the Fords got him in overtime. So still a solid play, and we'll keep going back to that one. So, all right, here's what's going on at WagerTalk. There's not much going on, so we can put up $5 plays now. So if you want to get some $5 plays, they're going to start trickling in throughout the day. We have a half-price cricket play for later today, so if you want that, we've got our $5 Tuesday play that's up. That's in WNBA, 4-0 on money lines in WNBA. So we got a perfect streak on the season. We got a money line for tomorrow. So join us. It's only $5. We also have a 5% in UFC this upcoming weekend. And I was just going to talk real quick about that. So I should have done a better job of documenting this over the last couple months, but yeah, we got off to a terrible start of 2026 in UFC. So we just said, we're taking a step back. We're not putting any more plays in for clients. We're going to test out our plays on our live show, and we're going to paper trade, and we're not putting any plays until we start seeing it better. So we took some time off. Paper trading started getting better. Live show started getting better. And then we started to go on a hot run. And so we put in plays. We're coming off a 3-0 sweep, and that makes it a 14-5 run in UFC. So I do this. I know I know there's differing opinions on it. We can ask Bill about this. If I'm running cold in something, I have no problem with just stopping and saying, I'm not putting in any more. Yep. The flip side of that is no, just stick to the process. At the end of the year, you'll be up. But if I'm not seeing a certain sport, well, I just stop. I'm just done. There's other ways to make money, and then I just paper trade until it gets better. So that's how I do it. I'm happy with how things worked out, and it's nice to have UFC back in our lives, Dan.
Well, and Andy, think about too how when the World Cup started, we were on an absolute tear, and then we started, hey, let's fire a little bit more, and then we completely scaled back, went back to just doing one play a day, and then that approach, along with doing the other sports like Wimbledon, like what we do with cricket, like how WNBA has been a nice little buoy for us. We scaled back something that we started hemorrhaging a little bit of money in. So luckily, with the way that we work with our team, we have other options that it doesn't have to be just, a hard stop. You can still try and build that bankroll elsewhere. But same with me, man. I'm completely fine with just shutting it down, still tracking what my plays would have been. Sure, you're going to kick yourself. Oh, I should have bet that. Oh, I should have bet that more. But if you're in a hole and you're continually digging downward, that's how you're going broke. That's how you're losing bankroll after bankroll after bankroll.
Yeah, let's bring in Bill. I want to get his opinion on this one. Bill, I don't know if you heard the story. We were running terrible in UFC. We took a bunch of time off. Now we're doing better. So now it's time to fire away. Do you just stick to the process, knowing that you'll be up at the end of the year? Or do you just take time off from something if it's not going well for you?
Well, hey, first, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Morning.
Thank you for everyone following, liking, subscribing, and commenting. We appreciate it. As far as process that I deal with, if I have positive EV, on something, I know if I'm a lifetime winner and I'm just running bad, nothing's going to get in the way unless you didn't evolve and there's something that changed in that history, that betting. If something has changed, I'll have my team look into it. However, I know there's going to be bad runs. If you take any kind of sims, I'll use a simple thing like a coin flip, and you flip a coin, 100 times, you may get 10 tails in a row. You may actually go and get maybe 20 out of 22 tails in a row. I mean, anything can happen. But long term, if you put that over any kind of a Monte Carlo simulation or any type of a program like that, in the end, after millions of coin flips, you're going to come pretty much close to even. So it just some variance sometimes. So I would say absolutely stick with it if you have a winning formula. Very hard to come up with a winning formula. I have had many different groups I have worked with that couldn't beat a certain sport or a certain type of a wager where in the past they used to absolutely destroy it. I'll use NASCAR as an example. I had the greatest NASCAR handicapper that used to be at every single event, and he used to have real lap times on hot tires that kind of you're not going to get that time of lap times with the BS on NASCAR.com or whatever it may be. You need someone out there that's part of a pit crew or someone out there that is able to get real lap times, and that has gone away. Most of the cars are evenly matched now. And granted, I still get some plays from someone, and they're up a couple of units for the year. Grinding away, but that's a total different team. So if you have a formula or you have something that has been successful, I would stick with it. And if you see after a losing period or a small sampling, in the end you're going to be profitable with that. I would stick with that. But again, make sure that your team and you guys have evolved to whatever your process is. As far as UFC, I went to the fight the other night. I'm not really a big UFC fan, but I had a friend of mine that owns a card shop in Myrtle Beach, and he comes in for all the big events. Sports card, gotta give him a shout out. I mean, guy gave me a beautiful suite. Sports Cards Plus, Highway 17 bypass in Myrtle Beach. My friend has a shop there, so we. Being there, I wasn't prepared for what I seen there. I didn't know all the hype behind that Patty the Batty, and that was real exciting. I didn't know the whole arena. Well, and no one even warned me. Like I put a video on I have a video on my phone. Like, so they're cheering for this guy. He's not even out there. He's in the locker room. And by the way, his fight didn't even really get announced yet, but like you could just see, they were saying Patty the Batty. I mean, this is up from a sweet view. It was really, really cool. To be honest with you, the excitement of that guy coming out, and Pimblett, is that his name?
Yeah. So this is a gigantic knock I've had on UFC. They literally are under the same umbrella as WWE wrestling, and one of the best things about wrestling is the walkouts. He is literally the only guy, maybe you could say Alex Pereira, but that has an exciting walkout.
Oh, it's so exciting.
You were there all night. Didn't that one just stand out? It was like,
no,
why
that
can't
one
other
stood
guys
out.
It's awesome.
His arms flailing in the air. And now, granted, does that take a lot out of you physically? But what he does for that walkout, walking around the ring. Like,
No, but
I just thought it was really cool. He got the whole crowd into it. He made he made it a real exciting night. I know his fight was only like 40 seconds or something like that. But by the way, he was an underdog. I was following those lines really, really good. He was an underdog, taking about $1.15, $1.20, and he came out and really gave the fans a great show. Had everyone behind him. Then when it was over, he jumped out of the ring. Same thing. It was just really exciting watching him. Then of course the main event was kind of a flop. But if you follow the odds, like I followed the odds of the main event, pretty closely. I know it opened up about minus 190 a few weeks earlier, and I should say that was announced for a while, but minus 200, minus 210, you could have got early in the week. Then I seen it go up to like 230, 240, and paid closer attention because the sports books were putting up that low line, knowing that they would have one-way action on Conor McGregor, even when, that's people just love betting McGregor. People love betting him. And they did that with the intentions on that. And what wound up happening is the day of the fight, it went up to 325, minus like 320 at circa. It went to, I seen BetMGM had minus 3.25. None of the sports books had under 300. But then something unusual happens. About 2 hours before fight time, the book started lowering back the wagering. I seen an hour before the fight minus 230. Went down to minus 230. South Point was minus 220. South Point went down to minus 220 on that. So they were looking for more favorite money. They had a lot of money on McGregor. I was happy to give it to them in small amounts. They're on their app. They only take $300 to win $300. It was the max bet. But they'll let you bet it over and over again. Went up to 240. I think I bet it again. Yeah, I did bet it again. Now this is just, I can't give it out to people at minus 220 and 230 and 240 when the market's like 260, 270, which is still lower than what it was earlier. But I was just betting against the public, basically. And now I didn't know how much against the public until I interviewed the director of risk yesterday from MGM. He said they were writing about 3-1 on the underdog there. Big day for the sports books. I know another book that had 90% of the money on the underdog. They lose a fortune if McGregor was to win. He said this would have been really bad to have to explain to our bosses here that don't even understand wagering. So the sports books did very well. The collection bucket will not be out for a while on the strip, trying to get money for the bookmakers like I did it a couple weeks ago. They made a lot of money on this. It was a very exciting. Now, did McGregor, was he hurt before time? I don't know. I thought I seen him take a funny step when he got out of his sandals there. But then I said, what does common sense tell me? If he was hurt, well, then why did he, if his leg was hurt, why start out with those kicks? Wouldn't that
exactly?
If his leg was hurt, how can you start out with those type of kicks? Why not just start out with punches? Now, I'm not familiar with McGregor's style. Like I said, I'm not really into UFC like everyone else. I don't know if kicking is his main part of the game, but he had 3 kicks right at the beginning like that. You're not doing that if you're hurt going in, but everyone looks for conspiracy type of theories, and it may have not been. Maybe he was injured ahead of time. I don't know.
Well, Bill, I deemed him injured because he's been on a 4-year steroid and cocaine bender.
Okay.
That just eats your body alive. The guy couldn't survive one kick so when you say injured, like, did he have a specific injury before? No, but he's not been taking care of his body at all. I mean, that's been very, very well documented. And the funny thing about the Paddy Pimblett fight, Bill, all week, Paddy Pimblett in all of his press conferences literally predicted how the fight was going to go. He goes, he's going to shoot in and I'm going to choke him out. And then literally that is what he did. And afterwards, Paddy was like, I don't know what he was doing. I told him how the fight was going to go. And then he literally did exactly what I said he was going to do. He didn't change his strategy at all. So all week, Paddy was like, he's going to shoot in. I'm going to choke him out in a minute.
He's great for the sport, man. Dana White
Oh
must know
man.
that because I Googled him after. So he's got a pretty high net worth in the millions and millions, worth like 6 million. And I was happy to hear that because he deserves it because he's bringing a lot of people to these arenas and these places. So I was happy to see it. I know nothing about him. I just know that night was the first night. I think I heard the name, but that night was the first night I got to witness that. The entire place erupted. A lot of star. I was shocked at the star power at a UFC fight. 2 suites away from me was Paul Stanley from Kiss, just hanging out there. Um, there was so many different stars, celebrities, athletes, and really interesting. It was like a main event of a big boxing event. It was like back when Mayweather used to fight. It was that kind of star power, and a lot of people come out for the fights. It was cool. It was cool.
It's all because of Conor McGregor. You will never see those people at UFC fights ever.
So the main events don't draw like that. It was all McGregor drawing.
No.
Okay.
At the card this weekend, there will be no celebrities. Like the closest thing they'll have to a celebrity will be like a hockey player that comes off the bench, or like something like that. Like
Oh wow. Okay.
No, it's the Conor McGregor power. The power that guy has is truly insane. But what the UFC did was smart, putting Patty right before him, because Conor's going to bring out a lot of the casuals. And just like you did, you were like, who's this Patty guy? This walkout, awesome. This guy is like really
I
cool.
loved him.
Yeah, he's great. He was when he came in, he was young, he was wild, he wasn't very good, and you're like, this guy's overrated. And then he got married and had a kid and was like, I got to get my act together. And now he's just kicking ass.
Cool. That's great.
It's pretty funny. So his evolution's been good. So do you have any props on a day like today when there's just not much going on?
It's getting it really is. These are the real dog days of summer. These next few days, nothing going on. We're gonna go to WNBA, the Atlanta Dream, Jordan, Canada here. Assist rebounds over 12.5. I see it minus -05 here. She was she was over this number easily last game without Angel Reese playing. So Reese is questionable again tonight. So that's the prop. I'm going to go with the Dream are up against the Sparks tonight, who gives up the second most assists in the league. So Jordan Canada over 12.5 assists and rebounds. There you go, guys. There's a prop for you. I may throw it if anyone's watching live. If you're watching live, you may be able to get it. By the time I'm off air here, I'm going to give you guys a real treat. I wasn't planning to do this, but let's give you guys a summer league game. Let me just get it up for the WagerTalk people that pay. And now let's get this up. There's something that we'll give out by the time of when we're off air there. Guys, we're talking about also baseball, like second half of baseball season. I usually start slowing down here. All the syndicates that I worked with in my life, usually if they even chose to do baseball, they actually stopped the second half of baseball after the All-Star break to prep for NFL and college football season. So I'll start lowering my volume. The lines are they're pretty efficient. Also, the first, like I said, NFL preseason here, only 24 days away.
Wow.
Most of my attention is on football starting in August. And, I bet NFL props and totals, obviously, but college football is really the big thing.
Nice.
Out there for me. I love the NFL player props, and the reason why I love them is because I'm so successful at them. I don't like them because I'm a fan. I'm not a fan of anything, by the way. I'm not a fan of anything at all. My only allegiance is my bankroll. I don't care about a single player off the field. They don't care about me. I don't care about them. I'm a fan of something because I'm winning it. So people ask me, now, did I grow up a fan? Yeah, I grew up a baseball fan. Sure. I grew up going to Shea Stadium, Yankee Stadium as a kid. So I used to love baseball, but that has been taken away from me even. I mean, I'm real excited what I see on the strip here. For the first time, I seen that stadium going up. Wow. They have really come a long way on the stadium, on the athletic stadium. And I can't wait for that to get here. because that's so cool. Imagine you live all around this country, and you get to come to the stadium. I'll use the Yankees, of course. So the Yankees are coming into Vegas for 3 nights. You get to have your vacation around the Yankees. You get to watch them for 3 different games and experience all that Vegas gives you and all you hear. It's an unbelievable thing for fans of baseball. It's almost like the hockey thing. If you like hockey, you come here to see the Las Vegas Golden Knights, but you're only seeing one game one night. Imagine a home series where you're seeing 3 or 4 games. I don't know how that's actually going to be structured, but I think it's the greatest thing for this city. I think people aren't even talking about it yet. How big for tourism it's going to be. All these fans coming here and getting to enjoy baseball games and the Las Vegas nightlife, and it's great for restaurants. It's great for locals, even It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be good for people to fly in, see their team in Vegas, just do it overnight and head back the next day for sure. So, Bill, what do you have up for everybody today?
Anthony's asking the summer league play. This is the Milwaukee Bucks +4 only. So it's just a play. It's a play. It's nothing crazy. Don't go crazy. But like 3.5, I'm passing. I just told my assistant 3.5 pass. Take the 4. So there's a free play for people that I did not plan for people to have. I'm sure I'm going to get screamed out because I put it up on WagerTalk, but it was a live play that just came across.
You'll be okay.
There you guys go. But listen, guys, join me at WagerTalk and join me for a longer season package. Get these preseason football, get the NFL player props. Join me up until Super Bowl. I told you guys last year to do that. I said it. I meant it. I was here to represent it. We absolutely destroyed it for the season on the player props. Get in a long-term package because, we're going to win. This is something and make sure you have your notifications on. Oh my God. Thank God I said this. Make sure you have your mail notifications on. So you want that. You want to be able to get notified right away when a play comes across on the preseason. They kind of move. So you want to get on there. You want to make sure that your notifications is on. WT.buzz / is that slash, right? /Crackman. There we go, guys. All right. Good deal. And look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you as
guys.
always. Have a great Monday. Enjoy the time off from MLB. So, Dan, I'm waiting here. Like he says, Lang, you're wrong, and he won't tell me what I'm wrong about. Don't leave me hanging.
I'm guessing he. So here's my guess, and we'll see if Isaiah gets us back. Because like you said, we can be wrong all the time. So let us know.
I am wrong all the time. You got to narrow it down.
I think you got him a little hot under the collar when you were saying that stars don't go to UFC events. I think that's when he responded back. I think maybe it might be Dana White's burner. I don't know, but it seemed to me that was when he got frustrated. So we'll see.
Let's see all the stars let's see all the stars that come out for the Dricus Duplessis Kamaru Usman main event this weekend. Let's see. I'm just saying, like
not exactly McGregor leveled star power. Yeah.
The guy in the co-main event is Jared Cannonier, who's 42 years old. Let's see if Taylor Swift comes out for that one. Like I'm and of course it's not all the events, but I'm just saying that those celebrities are not coming out to an event that doesn't have a Conor McGregor Patty Pimblett. And by the way, I should have brought this up. Bill says he's not a fan. Sounds like he's a fan of Patty.
Sounds like Patty the Batty fan now.
Patty. Yep.
As we all are.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's bring on Carmine, who is besides Argentina. He's the other guy that's dominated the World Cup here, Carm.
And he doesn't need VAR to do it, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez.
How are you, Carm?
I'm good, man. It's been a good World Cup. It's coming to an end soon, but I've enjoyed it thus far. I was a little disappointed in that last game. It wasn't a client play, but the Argentina and Switzerland game, because I did say that I thought Switzerland could upset them in that game, and they were on their way to doing it, and then VAR got involved.
Well,
As
yeah,
it does.
Yeah, as it does indeed. And Carm, I think we can start there, because earlier when I was bringing you on talking about the games and everything, I was saying, we'll talk about Argent FIFA, and I thought that was pretty creative.
Yeah.
Lino came up with Bargentina, which I think is that's pretty strong. And Carm, obviously we're making jokes, but I mean, you did the research and have numbers to back it up here. Let's pull up this chart that you had made beforehand, and you can explain what folks are looking at on this chart here.
Yeah. So basically, right now, those are the quarterfinal teams. So you look at the quarterfinal teams, and how many times VAR has got they've gone to VAR in their games. And as you can see there, 6+6.7 in favor of Argentina. They lead as far as VAR decisions in their favor. They've had absolutely zero ruled against them in VAR. I'll take that even one further. Of the 48 teams in the World Cup, only one team has not had VAR reverse a decision against them, and that again is Argentina. So you could call it slightly lucky, you could call it favoritism.
Coincidence.
I don't want to say the World
Pure
Cup is rigged, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this is how they came up with the rules leading into the World Cup. And I'll talk about the one that that everyone is talking about, or everyone is confused about, and that is what happened on in the quarterfinal game between Switzerland and Argentina. So VAR, FIFA decided to put in a new rule for this World Cup. They put in a bunch of rules, but one of them was the mistaken identity rule. The mistaken identity rule was this is the ambiguity of it. It was initially put in there that if a yellow or red card was given to a player, let's say a player from Argentina, and it was mistaken identity in that it should have been to another player from Argentina, they can go to VAR, and VAR makes the decision that you awarded it to the wrong person. But they used that rule to go to VAR, remove the yellow card that was given to Paredes for an alleged tackle that the referee thought on Briambolo of Switzerland, and instead reversed the decision and gave the yellow card, which was the second of the game, to Briambolo for simulation or diving. That wasn't the reason why this rule was put in. It was for the mistaken identity, but the ambiguity of this rule makes it absolutely tougher. So the problem starts with, and we'll finish it off here, is that the referee or the game official from Portugal should have never even given a yellow to Argentina. She just should have blown the play dead, awarded a free kick at the time, which was in midfield to Switzerland, and the game continues on. But by doing that, he created something that it went from one bad call to a VAR to a red card to game over. Argentina wins. So absolutely terrible rule in how it was applied in this instance.
I can't. That one wasn't. I mean, the top three calls that make that one was hysterical. The one that they called back in Egypt, where they let the guys dribble from one end of the field, score, and then they're like, "Hey, somebody stepped on the guy's foot 120 yards away, so no goal." And
completely marginal foul that got called against Egypt, but then later on, Mo Salah was tackled outside or inside the box, and Argentina went down the field, scored a goal, and they did not even review the incident, did not review it. So say what you want to say. The bell tolls for the Argentina. It is going to come possibly on Wednesday. We'll see.
I have one more nominee, and I think it's my favorite. In the Norway-England game, the England goalie goes up and just gets drilled by his own player, and the ref called a foul on Norway. And then the ref yellow carded the Norway player for complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
It just the it's something like some of the officials like, okay, we're down to the semifinal games and then a finals game. If it is not, and I haven't seen, I've been waiting for FIFA to announce the officiating crews. I've got to see what the officiating, if it's not one of the top officiating crews, I'm going to be surprised. It's got to be like, the Premier League ones, even the ones from Spain, even the ones from Italy. Italy's got to get involved in this World Cup somehow. So put them in the VAR or what have you. But with that said, when you're trying to grow the game in North America, don't throw in rules that people are like, I don't understand what just happened here.
Yep. Well, and complete judgment calls, you know what I mean? And VAR for me, but not VAR for thee. Yeah, the whole thing is tough, Carm, for sure. But regardless, we still got 3 games left. We got the semifinals, we got the championship, and I obviously I want to touch upon both, but we talked at length here about Argentina. So obviously, folks are dropping this in since the stream started here, Carm, and also folks been asking about the home run derby. We're going to talk about that here coming up as well. But France and Spain, that is the game that goes tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time is the start for this one. I put up the odds in 90, and then we also have the teams advance. So you see France, the favorite to advance. They've kind of been in the driver's seat. However, they're facing a team who hasn't allowed much goals. I think 1 goal they've allowed the entire tournament. France has allowed 2. So a lot of folks just like betting both teams to score. This feels like whoever scores has to outpace the other one. Maybe that's a way to attack it. How do you see this game breaking out? Because, Carm, we'll get into the World Cup. I'm sure you will be very sad and your clients will be very sad to see it go because it's been great for you. But as far as this France and Spain game is concerned, how do you think this one shakes out, man?
Yeah, I honestly believe that the winner of this game is going to win the World Cup. So if you're an England 3 Lions fan, if you're an Argentina fan, the Albieste, I'm sorry, but I believe these are the 2 best, most complete teams in the World Cup. Now, with that said, I think France has been the best team by far in this World Cup. You know, I talk about European teams starting slow in tournaments and then building throughout a tournament and playing better. 6 of the 8 teams that made the quarterfinals were European teams, with the exception of Morocco, who played France, and of course, what was the other team? I've almost forgotten who the other team was on the other side of the bracket. I think it was Colombia, if I'm not mistaken. But with that said, Argentina are the last of the South American teams. But you look at this, and Spain started off well. They started off obviously a scoreless draw, which is a huge upset for many people against Cape Verde. Then they did what they were supposed to do. They blasted Saudi Arabia 4-0 before winning their final game against Uruguay, who were a complete disappointment in this tournament. But the knockout stages, Spain it just seems like they've regressed a bit to me. They play Austria. They beat them 3-0, a game in which they were supposed to win, and they did handily. But a 90th minute goal they needed in order to beat Portugal in that one. And that's when super sub Marino came off the bench and scored in the 90th minute. And then the game against Belgium. Belgium played extremely well and could have easily beaten Spain in that game. Doku had more than a few chances to score towards the end of the game to give them the lead, but Spain somehow found a winner in the 88th minute. I think the problem here with Spain is the fact that coming into this tournament, the question marks were around the 18-year-old GOAT, as we call him, Lamine Yamal. He came in nursing an injury, only played 15 minutes of that Cape Verde one, really wasn't a factor. And he hasn't been really a huge factor for this team, and he's supposed to be that spark plug in the middle that creates plays. In the game against Belgium, Trossard, who plays for Arsenal, completely shut him down. He couldn't get anywhere near the box. He did an absolutely phenomenal job of it. And now it's Lucas Digne from France who is saddled with that responsibility, and he's been very good. You look at his player rating numbers over the last 3 games, and he's played some shutdown defense, albeit one of the games was against Paraguay, and I don't think Paraguay even passed midfield in that game because they had all 10 guys in their own box for pretty much 90 minutes of that game. But with that said, if they lock up Yamal again in this game, and France has a very good way of doing that to teams, the way they set up, because they're going to give Spain a lot of the possession. So they're going to sit back, and it's going to look like Spain are dominating the game, but they're not scoring goals because France have a very good back line, very good midfield. They'll absorb the pressure and then hit Spain on the counterattack, because that Spain back line loves to play a little higher. And when you have Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Desiree Doué on that team with speed, if they get behind your back line, you are in a lot of trouble. And that's where I think this game lies. Possession, it's going to go to Spain. Midfield, I think they're pretty much even. Attack, France has got the better attack. Goalkeeping, I give France a slight edge. And then as far as the bench and manager, I give that lean again to France. I think everything points in the direction of a France win on this one.
But Carm, probably not one that you would want to attack in the 90 minutes. Any thought on betting draw in this game? Do you think we see extra time? How do you see this one shaking out? And does that tie in with any thoughts on the total? Maybe sitting at 2.5 here, and 2 teams that have been defensively stout.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes. I'll talk about the 2 advanced one. I think one of the biggest mistakes bettors will make, and novice bettors will make, is they'll look at teams and see how they score, and they're star-laden teams, and think, oh, these 2 teams are playing, they're going to light up the scoreboard. And that doesn't always happen. Especially if you have teams that are very good with possession, but a good defensive side that can sit back, much like France does. They can protect leads. They can attack when they need to. When France won the 2018 World Cup, they played Belgium in the quarterfinals or semifinals. Everyone talked about the fact that they thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. I kind of disagreed. France scored early and then basically locked down Belgium. The game finished 1-0, and the Belgium manager came out at the time and basically said France didn't come here to play soccer. They came here just to protect the 1-0 lead. Well, this is what happens. In Champions League, when Bayern Munich played PSG, everyone thought, my God, this is going to be a high-scoring game. Again, it finishes 1-0. The fact that there are stars on a team doesn't always equate to goals. When you have 2 defensive sides, good defensive sides. Spain's only allowed 1 goal in this tournament. France has only allowed 2 goals in this tournament, and none in the knockout stages, in winning and beating Sweden 3-0, Paraguay 1-0, and Morocco 2-0. So it's not as if, especially with the Sweden and Morocco games, it's not as if they've played teams who can't score goals, because both those teams proved that they could score goals. So, as far as the total goes, everyone wants to play both teams to score. Everyone wants to play the over 2.5. I would say look into it further before you make that decision. And Dan, you're absolutely right. Quarterfinal games, we saw go into extra time, quite a few of these games. Both those games, the Switzerland, Argentina one, the Norway, England game went to extra time before they found a winner. The 2 advanced line seems to be the safest one. And I did a video just earlier this morning on the Final 4. And there are books that will let you pick the finalists. And I believe the best play for picking the finalists is to take France and England at plus 185 to meet in the finals, which is essentially about the same odds as taking France at say minus 155 and England at like minus 135 in the 2 advanced lines, and pairing those 2, and I think you get one plus 186. So just a little off there as far as price goes.
Carm, awesome breakdown, man. Only 3 of these games left, so if you didn't jump on board, there still is time to do so. WT.buzz/CB, and Carm, the stats speak for themselves. If you have FOMO, you have fear of missing out. You should, because Carm and his clients, 48, 27, and 5, 64%, near 30 ROI, 30% ROI, Carm. It's only been terrific. It's only been up for you. Hopefully we continue that in these last 3. What are folks going to find over at your page?
Yeah, the $5 play is already up for the regular $5 Tuesdays. The office okayed it on the weekend, so I put it up on the weekend, and that is for Tuesday's game between France and Spain. And then I have a 5% play that is loaded for the Wednesday game, so you can get those both at the page. And then they put together a great deal if you want to get a full year of soccer, and there are 4 European tournaments that will be starting: the Champions League, Europa Conference League, and the Nations League, and then all of the European leagues, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and England, along with the MLS here. 1 year soccer all access. Use code BB149. That is BB as in best bet, 149, and you get $149 off that full year's package.
Yeah, absolute no-brainer. Use that code again, folks. Don't forget it. And just because the World Cup's done doesn't mean soccer is done. So don't you shy away from a nice bankroll builder. Again, that code is BB149, and you can use it over at Carmine's page. Carm, always a pleasure, man. Keep cashing those tickets, and best of luck, brother. WT.buzz/CB, and again, that's BB149. You can take $149 off a year all access.
The league's starting in a couple of weeks. Like, they wrap up the World Cup and then it's just
right back into it. There's money to be made, Lang. There's money to be made. They're not letting FIFA get all the change,
Grueling schedule. So, all right, let's do a home run derby, and then we'll do our NFL future. We'll explain how we're going to do the NFL futures, but so let's do home run derby first here. So I think the big thing is just the difference in the format. They got rid of the timer. You get 20 swings. And I actually like this. It was tough. Sometimes it was tough to follow. Like the guy would hit a ball, and as it was going out, he was already swinging at another one. So you get to at least see each swing. So you get 20 in the first round. If you hit a home run on your last swing, you get to keep going until you don't hit a home run. So if you get on a hot streak, that's pretty good. I think the semifinals is 15 swings. So that's going to be by far the biggest difference between past years and this year.
Yeah, and honestly, for what the home run derby is supposed to be is appreciating moonshots, right? Like, that's the whole point behind it. So I think this is a way better way to do it. Now it's not really geared towards the TikTok generation that I need hits. I need it. You know what I mean? It's going to be a little bit slower paced. I don't think it's going to be a snooze fest by any stretch of the imagination, but it will be a little bit slower paced than ones in past. I also think it bodes better for guys like Kyle Schwarber, for some of these, older guys, the veterans in the field. They don't want to be swinging themselves out. That's what kind of burnt him in some of these past competitions. So I think it really bodes well. Obviously, I'm wearing the Bryce Harper jersey today. I would love to make a case for Bryce at the 9-1 price that he's sitting at now, but he's got the lowest barrel percentage anyone here. He's kind of cooled off. He's got 20 home runs, and at home, one thing that he does have going for him is this is a guy who loves to put on a show, and a guy who loves to have a crowd behind him, right? I mean, he's won it before, and he won it at a home ballpark when he did win it, and that was I think back in 2018, if my research was correct there. So I'd like to make a case for Bryce because it's a nice price, but money just keeps coming in on Schwarber. He was plus 350. We're seeing him down to like plus 290. Feels chalky, but there's a reason he's the favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I will give, here's a couple props. This may be a sucker bet, but I like to over 484.5 feet on longest home run. With this new format, they can be patient. And I think one guy absolutely corks one. 500 feet is 4-1. So I bet I've lost on the under the last couple years. Inevitably, someone just absolutely hammers one. So this new format, I think, helps that. I'll also give you under 9.5 on Jack Caglianone. He's only 23 years old. He started off the year pretty bad. He hit 9 home runs in June, but 23 years old. He's got some ways to go. And fun fact, the Kansas City Royal has never won a home run derby. So round one, I like the under 9.5. I think he gets close, but I think maybe a little nerves trying to figure out the speed of the pitches and just the settings and everything. I'll fade the young guy.
I'm glad that you say that, Andy, because the play that I have, it's obviously not the amazing plus money that you want. Pick your outright winner if you want to. Sure. I'm going with a head-to-head, and I'm going Rice over Caglianone for a lot of the same reasons that you said. I think Ben Rice, you see him as a longer shot. I don't think he has it in him to win the entire thing, but I certainly think he has it in it to make it further than Caglianone. Cags is going to have his dad pitching to him, which is always a fun story, things like that. But I think that's maybe where the evening ends. Like you said, he's younger. I also think that if you just look at what you want in Citizens Bank Park, you want a nice launch angle, and he has the lowest launch angle in this entire field. So he's got to get underneath the ball, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that. Ben Rice, I think you're getting a nice price on him simply because, some of these other names overshadow him. His EV is a little bit low here coming in, but he has really good production, and he's has a really nice fit for this ballpark as well at Citizens Bank Park. So the matchup for me is going to be Rice over Caglianone, and it's plus 135. You can shop around on that one. So that's the bet for me. If I had to pick my outright winner, it's chalky. I think Kyle Schwarber wins the whole thing. The way that this event is set up perfectly for a Kyle Schwarber, maybe a Bryce Harper, but I think he's the favorite taking money for a reason. It's Schwarber for me on the outright.
God, if Caglianone wins this damn thing.
People bash us in the comments. So comment below. That's what we'll do here today, folks. Comment below and let us know who you think is going to win the home run derby. Include your WagerTalk username. If your guy wins it, you will be entered in to win a free 3-day flex pass, and we'll pick one of them at random. So comment below your home run derby winner, and if your guy wins, you will be entered in to win a free 3-day flex pass.
I'll take Harper as a 9-1.
I like it. I think if he gets going, it's gonna go very well for him. But it is, does he kind of tire out? I mean, MLB dream, and as a Phillies fan dream for me, let's get Bryce Harper versus Kyle Schwarber in the finals. The last time that this was held in Philly, it was when they were still playing at Veterans Stadium. It was 1996, and that final was Mark McGwire versus Barry Bonds. So much less steroids that you're seeing, but it could be just as fun as a storyline. Let's get Harper and Schwarber as our finalists. That would be electric.
And for the record, these are not client plays.
No,
this is the definition of sprinkle. This is the definition of if you lose, you're.
This isn't even pizza money. This isn't even garlic knot money. This is a $5 bet.
It's a little side of melted garlic butter. Sides bet. So,
it's a parsley flake.
Yeah. So all right, let's do. So Dan and I are going to do a future in the NFL every day now. And here's how we're going to do it. Monday, we're going to do a quarterback prop. Tuesday, we're going to do a wide receiver prop. Wednesday, a running back prop. Thursday, we're going to do a wins total. And Friday, we're going to let you guys suggest some things in the comment section. We'll pick one and break that down. So for Monday, to get us started, it had to be Matthew Stafford, 30.5 passing touchdowns.
About this one.
I may or may not have mentioned this on the show. I'll go first because everyone knows where I stand. He had 46 passing touchdowns last year. A lot of short touchdowns. McVay was trying to get him the MVP. Amazing stat, Dan. He had 8 one-yard touchdown passes.
Different
like
offense now.
They would not hand it off. They wanted to pad his stats. Here's the thing. He probably only has a year left. They drafted they drafted the young, his name escapes me, but probably the future quarterback. I think McVay is going to try and get him as many touchdown passes again. He's older, but Dan, he is durable. He's played 15, 16, and 17 games the last 3 years. They're just all in on the season. They traded for Myles Garrett. Rumblings of Aaron Donald might be coming back. Continuity, they're returning 10 starters on offense. And here's what puts this over the top for me. He had 9 games with 3 or more touchdown passes. 5 of those games were against his division. He tore up the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. So it just checks every box. If he gets hurt, then it's a loser. But if he plays even 15 games, I think he gets over this total. So that's my pick on this one. What say you?
Yeah, they get to face the Cardinals. They have a road game against the Raiders, obviously. The thing for me is he's not getting any younger, right? And the point that you make, though, is that this is a guy who last year had 1 yard passing touchdowns. And what does that mean? Something fundamentally changed because he went from 24 passing touchdowns to 20 passing touchdowns to then to 46. So this is something that has fundamentally changed with this offense. They are a pass first, second, and third option for this team. So the fact that you got him at 46 and he's had a 41 in his career, he's been around 30 several other times. He's had 2 41s in his career. So this is a guy who has the ability. The only thing that screws you here, Andy, is an injury. And I think he is a kind of guy who came into the season. Everyone was talking about his back injury, and that's why they're not bet on teams. And then what happened? He was one of the best players the entire season long. So the fact that it's sitting at 30 feels baity, but I wouldn't want to be sitting with any Stafford unders and then he comes out on a tear again. So I don't know if I'll join you with this one, Andy, but I understand the reasoning and I can't make a case on under 30.5 for a guy who's coming off 46 and for an offense that for all indications, they want to pass you out of the game and they'll continue to do so, whether they're playing from the front or playing from behind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, long show. Hey, listen, just because there's no baseball and no other sports going on doesn't mean we can't go past an hour. So we got a cricket play for this afternoon that's up. We've got our $5 Tuesday play that is already up. 5% UFC play is up, but today might be a great day to get the buy 3 days, get 3 free, because if you get it today, you get the cricket play and you're locked in for the UFC 5% best bet. So we're seeing UFC really well. 14-5 MMA run, 3-0 on Saturday, and you're going to get all the sports that we do. I know it's a light sports week. It doesn't stop us. We've got plenty of sports to go over. So thanks for joining us, guys. Remember, after the show, it's got to be after the show. Put in the comments section who you like to win, and you're going to be entered into the drawing to win a 3-day flex pass. So good luck on all your bets. Let's have a good, fun home run derby, and let's get the week started off with a winner. We'll see everyone tomorrow on $5